Affluenza, the Ethan Couch defense. Is being too rich a justifiable defense? Can being too rich be a cause of an individual not knowing the difference between right and wrong? Is not knowing the difference between right and wrong a result of bad parenting? Or should being too rich be a defense to avoid justice? Good afternoon. My name is Doris Houston. I am your speaker today, and I will be speaking on the topic of the affluenza defense of Ethan Couch, the 16-year-old teenager who received 10 years probation and an undetermined length of time in a rehabilitation facility after injuring 9 people and killing 4 in an alcohol-related accident. First, we will discuss what is affluenza and how does it relate to this speech. Affluenza is the harmful and unbalanced relationship of the wealthy with money. This can include the wealthy and their money relationships individually, in business, organizations, globally, and within the law. In the context of this speech, affluenza will be discussed in terms of a false sense of entitlement. We can see the symptoms of affluenza throughout our culture in those around us who have wealth, in those who are pursuing wealth, and in varying degrees within ourselves. It is fueled by a loss of biodiversity, a change in the way we live, and the legacy that we seek to leave our children and grandchildren. The assumption that money can buy happiness and everything else used to be the myth of the American dream. But looking at this case, that is no longer the truth. In today's society, we all pursue a better lifestyle through happiness and wealth, and we all want instant gratification, a sense of entitlement, no matter how minute we think it is, and all the wonderful things that we think money can buy. In my opinion, this is what Ethan Couch's attorney, parents, psychologists, and the judge attempted to do for him. Ethan Couch, a 16-year-old youth who on December 10, 2014 received 10 years probation for a deadly alcohol-related accident that killed 4 individuals when, according to police, Couch was going 70 miles per hour in his father's Ford F-350 pickup in a 40 miles per hour zone when he lost control and started a deadly chain of collisions. Earlier that same night, police state that several of Ethan Couch's passengers were caught on camera stealing 2 cases of beer from a local Walmart. The lives that were claimed in the accident were 24-year-old Brianna Mitchell, who was stranded out on the side of the road with a broken-down vehicle, Holly Boyles and her 21-year-old daughter Shelby, who lived nearby and came to assist Brianna Mitchell, and a youth pastor named Brian Jennings, who had also stopped to offer assistance to Miss Mitchell. 2 out of the 7 passengers riding in the truck with Ethan Couch were also seriously injured. Ethan Couch had a blood alcohol level of 0.24, which is 3 times the legal limit for an adult, and had traces of Valium in his system, according to police. Ethan Couch pled guilty to 4 counts of intoxication manslaughter and 2 counts of intoxication assault causing serious bodily injury. The affluenza defense was introduced to the public by the psychologist that was hired to testify on behalf of the defense regarding Ethan Couch's upbringing. Dr. G. Dick Miller, prior to the sentencing, testified that with no parental contact and 1 to 2 years of treatment that Ethan Couch could be salvaged. Couch was afforded privileges that normal people do not have, and that affluenza was linked to his upbringing because his family was wealthy, and the rational link between behavior and consequences was not recognized by Mr. Couch. Does Ethan Couch have the worst parents ever, or has he been a victim of having too much privilege without consequences for any troubles that he has been in. The reference in court documents of Ethan Couch's life in the last 10 years reveal that he was indeed afforded indulgences that normal people do not have, along with addiction, abuse, and neglect from his parents. The dysfunctional relationship between his parents, who were noted to always be arguing, overlooking the things that their son does, and not acknowledging that he was a child and not an adult, could have played a major part in his outlook on life and the non-consequences of his actions. Shortly after his sentence and a brief stay in a rehabilitation facility, Ethan Couch was photographed at a party drinking, which was a violation of his probation. Ethan and his mother disappeared. On December 19, 2015, Ethan and his mother were captured in Mexico, and arrangements were made to return them to the state of Texas. Do you still think that Ethan Couch is too rich to know right from wrong? Mothers Against Drunk Driving, whose mission is to end drunk driving, help fight drug driving, support the victims of these violent crimes, and prevent underage drinking. MAD is in the fight against using affluenza as a defense and is there to help victims who often do not receive justice in a justice system that is set up to protect defendants and not the victims. The MAD National President, Colleen Sheehy Church, released a statement saying that the organization is glad that Mr. Couch has been captured and that swift action and top priority was implemented in his and his mother's capture. The organization hopes that the criminal justice system will now hold him accountable. In conclusion, to answer the questions that were posed at the beginning of the speech, can being too rich be a cause of an individual not knowing the difference between right and wrong? Is not knowing the difference between right and wrong a result of bad parenting? Should being too rich be a defense to avoid justice? I do not think that you can be too rich to know the difference between right and wrong. There are lessons that you learned as a child from your parents and also the other people that you are around. It is not stated that Ethan never had interactions with other individuals, and even though in his history it has been stated that he was afforded freedoms that normal people do not experience, driving a vehicle while drunk, which results in the death of 4 individuals, has to be a wake-up call that you have done something wrong. I do not think that anyone has to tell you that, no matter how privileged you are. Even when Ethan had episodes of bad behavior, his mother bailed him out, but it was still noted that he had done something wrong. The rich should not be able to use wealth as a defense to avoid justice. Although we know that it happens in the case of Lindsay Lohan, Martha Stewart, and Ethan Couch, it does not make it right. Justice should be justice, and it should not be blind, and the scales should remain balanced. There is a successful cure for affluenza. It should be eliminated. Equal justice keeps the scales of justice balanced. Thank you.